Hello, and welcome to this week's Japanese from Japan podcast. I'm Keiko, and I'm so glad you're here. Every week, we take real stories from Japan and turn them into something useful for your Japanese study, so you can get closer to real-world immersion a little faster. Today's date is Monday, April 6, 2026, and we have 3 stories to cover. This week is a very Japan mix, honestly. 1 public health story, 1 big tech story, and 1 everyday life story about rising prices. So let's get into it. Our first story is about a norovirus outbreak at a traditional restaurant in Gifu Prefecture. 16 customers became sick after eating at a katsupuri tent, which is a traditional Japanese restaurant where carefully prepared dishes are often served in a more refined style. People reported symptoms like diarrhea, vomiting, and fever. According to the local Hokenzio, or public health center, 42 people ate at the restaurant over a few days, and 16 of them later got sick. Investigators found norovirus in samples from 12 customers and also from 2 food preparation staff members. Because of that, authorities danteishimashita. They definitively determined that this was shiokuchudoku, food poisoning caused by norovirus. The restaurant was then given an Eigyu Kinshi Shiobun, a business suspension order. It has to stay closed until proper steps are taken to prevent the same thing from happening again. I always find these stories interesting because they show how visible public health administration is in Japan. The response is very structured, and the language in the reporting is extremely formal. And there's also a cultural angle here. A katsupuri uten isn't just any restaurant. It's associated with seasonal ingredients, careful preparation, and often a close relationship between chef and customer. So when hygiene fails in that kind of setting, it feels especially serious. It's a reminder that in Japan, food safety and trust are deeply connected. Our second story is a technology one, and honestly, this is the one that made me go, wow. NTT Docomo announced that starting April 27th, smartphone users will be able to connect directly to Starlink satellites through a service called Docomo Starlink Direct. And for now, it will be free, with no application required, even for people on the Ahamo plan. What makes this special is that the phone can connect to satellites without relying on a regular ground-based cell tower. So if you're outdoors and can see the sky, you may be able to send messages even in places that are normally out of range. That includes mountains, remote islands, and areas at sea. In a country like Japan, that matters a lot. Japan is mountainous, spread across many islands, and constantly thinking about earthquakes, typhoons, and emergency preparedness. So this isn't just flashy tech news, it has a disaster readiness angle too. The service will support text messaging, location sharing, and emergency alerts like Area Miru, which are the warning messages people in Japan receive about earthquakes, tsunamis, and severe weather. There are some limits, of course. The satellite connection won't kick in if you're already in normal 4G or 5G coverage, or if you're on Wi-Fi. So it's really being positioned as a backup system, not a replacement for ordinary mobile service. Still, I think this is such a smart fit for Japan. Instead of trying to build towers everywhere, you create a safety net above the whole country. Our third story is one a lot of people in Japan probably felt immediately. More than 2,500 products are getting more expensive in April. The article describes this as an issei neage, a simultaneous wave of price increases, and says consumers are reacting with himei cries of distress. The products affected include cooking oil and paper goods like tissues and toilet paper, so we're not talking about luxury items. These are daily essentials. One paper manufacturer said prices would rise by more than 10%. When something like toilet paper gets more expensive, everybody notices. That's why these stories hit emotionally, not just economically. The article also connects the price hikes to bukka-daka, rising prices or inflation more broadly, and to fears of a possible sekyukiki, an oil crisis related to instability in the Middle East. It uses the dramatic phrase "dotu no neage ratsushu," which literally evokes surging waves. That's very headline Japanese, and I kind of love how vivid it is. This story matters because Japan spent many years with relatively stable prices, so repeated increases can feel especially jarring. For some people, it's not just that things cost more, it's that the whole rhythm of daily life feels less predictable. If you're learning Japanese through the news, stories like this are great because they teach you the emotional vocabulary of public anxiety, not just dry economics. Now let's drill into the price hike story and learn some Japanese from it. I picked this one because the vocabulary is rich, useful, and not full of English loanwords. It's the kind of article that helps you read real headlines with much more confidence. First word, bukka-daka. This means rising prices or inflation. A simple example is 日本では物価高が続いています. That means in Japan, rising prices are continuing. Second word, himei. Literally, it can mean a scream, but in news writing, it often means a cry of distress or an anguished reaction. Example, 消費者は悲鳴を上げています. Consumers are crying out in distress. Third word, genzairyou. This means raw materials. You'll see it a lot in business news. Example, 原材料の値段が上がりました. The price of raw materials went up. Fourth word, hikiageru. This means to raise or increase. Example, 会社は商品の値段を引き上げます. The company will raise the price of its products. Fifth word, issei neage. This means a simultaneous price increase. Example, 4月から一斉値上げが始まります. Starting in April, a simultaneous round of price hikes will begin. For grammar, let's look at に加えて, meaning in addition to. This is one of my favorite news patterns because it's so useful and easy to reuse. The structure is noun plus に加えて. Example 1, 物価高に加えて食品も高くなりました. In addition to inflation, food also became expensive. Example 2, 雨に加えて風も強いです. In addition to rain, the wind is strong. And example 3, 仕事に加えて日本語も勉強しています. In addition to work, I'm also studying Japanese. That's a very real sentence for a lot of you, I think. Now, let's practice some listening. Here's a recap of today's 3 stories in very simple Japanese. Don't worry if you don't catch everything. Just try to pick out words you recognize. 1つ目のニュースです. 岐阜県の料理店でノロウイルスの食中毒がありました. 16人が下痢や嘔吐や発熱の症状を出しました. 店は今営業できません. 2つ目のニュースです. ドコモはスターリンクダイレクトのサービスを始めます. 山や島などの県外でも空が見えるところならメッセージを送ることができます. 災害の時にも役に立ちます. 3つ目のニュースです. 4月から日本で2500以上の商品が値上がりします. 油やティッシュやトイレットペーパーなどが高くなります. 生活がもっと大変になると感じる人もいます. Great job listening! Even if you only caught a few words, that's real progress. So today, we looked at 3 very different stories from Japan. A Norovirus food poisoning case in Gifu, a new satellite phone service from Docomo, and a nationwide wave of price hikes. In our deep dive, we focused on useful vocabulary like bukka-daka, himei, genzairyou, hikiageru, and issei neage. We also practiced the grammar pattern kuwaete, meaning in addition to. That's a great one to notice in articles and start using in your own sentences. News Japanese can feel dense at first, but once you learn these building blocks, it starts opening up really fast. If you want more Japanese news and lessons, head to JapaneseFromJapan.com. And if you're studying for the JLPT exam, check out jlptpracticetest.com for practice tests. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. また来週。これからもよろしくお願いします。